Tod-Ai. The characters are fictitious and do not correspond to real people. Invest at your own discretion.
Today we are going to talk about some of our favorite subjects, crypto. Today you will learn in less than 15 minutes the main concepts of Bitcoin, and the new dilemma he faces with debate included. What are the fundamentals of Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a financial system rather than a currency. This has a series of rules that are implemented in a code that is executed today by many computers around the world. The standards are applied by this code without human manipulation. Among these standards, Bitcoin will reach a maximum of 21 million coins and, until then, their amount is increasing and the new Bitcoins are distributed to the nodes that validate the transactions. These rewards decrease over time in terms of the number of Bitcoins earned for validating a block. The creator of Bitcoin earned more than 1 million Bitcoins in rewards in the early days by being one of the few to process them. Bitcoin nodes or miners run a proof of work before being able to validate a block of transactions. The first to perform the test and validate gets the reward. On the other hand, users have wallets with a public account and a private key for storing their coins or making transactions. If you have not obtained Bitcoins as a miner, you have to buy them from another user or access an exchange house. The entire Bitcoin ecosystem is decentralized, without anyone or any entity having ownership or control over the financial system. For a decentralized system to be successful, requires the following: 1. Sufficient number of developers and validators of the implemented source code. 2. The highest number of nodes and copies of the data, in this case the blockchain. 3. A large number of miners. 4. Of course, many users. This cannot be achieved without marketing, community support and a great idea. Bitcoin has had it all. The Bitcoin network has become a very powerful one, as we can see from the total computational power used in the entire network. The number of users holding Bitcoin is also growing, blue line, and the trend of investors is also upward, orange line. Bitcoin was postulated from the beginning as an alternative to the traditional financial system, and there is no denying its success. Decentralization, the rules it has, which are transparent and cannot be changed by anybody, and the open way in which it was created make it the first decentralized system and the leader of all existing systems to date. But Bitcoin is not without its points of improvement and controversy. It is a good system for storing value, but not for instantaneous mass-use transactions. To provide Bitcoin with this functionality, a second network called Lightning has been designed to do this in a decentralized way as well, which implements it in such a way that the transactions that occur can be registered on the Bitcoin network itself. Additionally, other Level 2 networks have been appearing that allow other functionalities beyond those of Bitcoin, but taking advantage of the power of this. Of course, other decentralized networks have emerged, but the Bitcoin retains a market value close to half of the total of all cryptocurrencies. What is changing in the Bitcoin network? In this 2023, new solutions have proliferated that allow information to be stored in the Bitcoin transaction database, but not related to the use of Bitcoin itself. This expands the information that the network supports. These new applications could be called Level 1.5 networks because they use the Bitcoin blockchain and systems external to it at the same time. Now we can see use cases like register NFTs or files on the Bitcoin network, increasing its use, but not without risks such as increasing network congestion and transaction costs. This generates a new dilemma that we will discuss below with our fictional characters Rob Keys and Joanna Grande.
Bitcoin network is very powerful and secure. It is also open and anyone can use it. I see it as totally logical that you want to use it for more things. Images to be recorded, art, any document whose authorship is to be proven, contracts, etc. All of this is normal. The date it is saved cannot be modified and the date it was saved is recorded, which is fundamental for all these new cases. The fact of operating the network and recording transactions requires the payment of commissions to the miners, which makes it unprofitable to use it as a giant database to store anything. It's not going to come to that, but it does bring more benefits to the network and allows miners to earn more profitability.
I believe, Rob, that this creates more problems than benefits for Bitcoin. While the use cases mentioned above are of value, Bitcoin's network is not the best support for them. The basis of Bitcoin's success is that it perfectly fulfills its purpose as a very good and free monetary system. The first Bitcoin block generated by its creator, in fact, has stored a message regarding bank bailouts. Its purpose is that, to be a good alternative financial system to the existing one and improving the previous one. These new use cases, such as the NFTs, have generated an initial boom but also, consequently, an increase in commissions and pending transactions. The very use of Bitcoin for what it is in danger. Users will not want to trade with high commissions, nor wait any longer for them to be confirmed. At the end, this will be detrimental to all the uses that are being carried out on the network, reducing in quantity. This could lead to a flight of users to other platforms.
I believe, Joanna, that the NFTs created on the Bitcoin network improve those existing on other platforms. They are immutable, secured, offer privacy, are accessible at any time and all within a decentralized ecosystem. In addition, Bitcoin transactions recorded on its blockchain tend to be reduced as transactions occurring on other second-tier networks, such as Lightning, will be recorded in aggregate. Maybe, after making 10 transactions in Lightning, a user decides to update his or her balance on the Bitcoin blockchain. To give an example, enhancements such as U3XO are also being developed to allow aggregation of transactions, by reducing the size of the data associated with them. It will all come together that the Bitcoin network will have many uses and its technology will support it. There will be challenges along the way, but Bitcoin's advance is unstoppable.
I do not believe that the use of the Bitcoin network for anything can or should be prohibited, even to store images of dubious morality in its database as an example. But users themselves will be looking for alternatives to high commissions. Bitcoin miners and nodes for the time being require more storage space as the information in the NFTs causes the average size of each block to increase, making it more costly to store historical transactions. This leads to more commissions, and as long as there are no solutions, the free market will decide.
Throughout the history of Bitcoin, there have been several times that its code has been modified to create other solutions, although similar, with different variants to those applied by the official developers team, say. This generates a fork in which the transaction history up to that point is matched between Bitcoin and its alternative, but then everyone goes his own way. Do you think this could be a reason for more forks to appear?
It is lawful for this to be done, and new ideas are always welcome. Bitcoin's code is open and thus its own community can share ideas and receive different proposals. For the time being, the Bitcoin proposition has continued to prevail. Its incentive system is more about collaborating with Bitcoin than supporting a fork that in principle should not provide better incentives to most members of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Unless in the course of time it became clear that what was initially considered to be no better than it ended up being. It would be something like the majority was not right.
I believe that we must always be in favor of freedom and freedom of choice. Other networks and projects for NFTs are already in place, for fast and massive Bitcoin transactions, and many others. That is where there are endless future possibilities and where I believe Bitcoin will not dominate because it has a technological legacy hard to get adapted. Other networks are also very powerful and specifically designed for these uses, will be better. Bitcoin will remain for what it was created to do. More in detail, in 2012, pay-to-script hash, P2SH, transactions were added to Bitcoin with a number of new features such as multi-signature transactions. These are used by the counterparty protocol, in turn used by Stamps, which is currently the most popular NFT system on Bitcoin. Stamps recommends low image resolutions to avoid high commission costs. SegWit or segregated witness is added to Bitcoin in 2017 and Taproot is added in 2021. This has led to other improvements in Bitcoin such as greater privacy, but have enabled protocols such as ordinals for NFTs. In addition to the NFTs, the BRC-20 protocol allows the existence of several types of tokens registered in Bitcoin. As the existing technology underneath Bitcoin becomes more complex, it also becomes more difficult to manage the entire ecosystem. The size of each transaction and each block is getting larger and larger. I believe that the simpler, best. In fact, there is now talk within the community of including improvements to filter spam, which could mean not allowing these new uses.
Commenting on BRC-20 tokens, that even its creator does not recommend its use due to the existence of another protocol considered to be more optimal called Taro, currently under development and awaiting judicial approval. Taro leveraged Taproot to use hashes that can reference even millions of external token transactions within a Bitcoin transaction. This makes the space and computational impact on Bitcoin's network small and, in addition, is compatible with the second-level Lightning Network, enabling fast transactions with no impact on Bitcoin's Tier 1 network. Other protocols such as RGB are also compatible with Bitcoin and Lightning and allow smart contracts to be executed outside the blockchain. I believe that technology is advancing and it is possible to meet new challenges.
Thank you very much. Of course, there is a great deal of controversy on this subject. I am sure there will be many alternatives and users will know how to choose the best one. This, of course, will influence the price of each cryptocurrency. We will talk more about crypto in the future and at the necessary level of detail. The next episode will be about energy.